Welcome to the deep dive. You know we love to dig into history and culture on this show,
Absolutely.
but today we're doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, a little twist.
A deep dive into the surprising origins of words.
Words you use every day
That's right. Words you think you know.
until you find out where they really come from.
And trust me,
You're in for some surprises.
I'm ready to be surprised, are you?
Oh, absolutely. I love a good word origin story.
Me too. So to kick things off,
Okay.
let's talk about a word that's probably making your stomach rumble right now.
I wonder.
It's bread.
Ah, classic.
But if you were in Japan, you wouldn't be asking for bread, you'd be asking for pan.
That's right.
And that seemingly simple word pan actually takes us back to the 16th century.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, to the arrival of Portuguese traders in Japan,
I can just picture those ships.
laden with exotic goods, spices, silks,
Sit among them.
the unfamiliar crusty loaves of Portuguese pound.
Pounds. That's where it comes from. Exactly. It's fascinating how bread became this unexpected bridge between cultures.
It really is. So, did the Japanese just instantly embrace pan, or was there some linguistic wrestling involved?
Well, rice remained a staple, of course, but the novelty and, let's be honest, the deliciousness of bread,
It is pretty delicious.
it made an impact, and pan became the go-to word.
Not just for the food itself.
Right, but as a symbol of this new culinary influence.
Wow, so next time I bite into a sandwich, I'll be tasting a bit of history and globalization.
Exactly, a little slice of Portuguese-Japanese fusion.
I love it. And speaking of food with fascinating backstories, let's move on to another staple,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
the humble potato.
The potato, now there's a word and a food with a journey.
It really does have a journey from the Andean highlands to our dinner plates.
Right, because the word potato, as you might guess, didn't originate in some European kitchen.
No,
It comes from papa, the Quechua word for this starchy tuber.
the language of the Incas. Wow, so are we saying that the Spanish conquistadors, amidst all the, conquering, had a moment of like, hey, what's this tasty thing called papa? We got to tell everyone back home.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a peaceful exchange of recipes.
Right, for it.
But the word itself did make that journey across the Atlantic.
Papa became potato.
And suddenly this Andean crop had a new name and a global stage.
It makes you wonder how many other words are hiding these epic tales of cultural encounters.
Oh, countless. I'm sure every word has a story.
Okay, before we move on from food words, we have to talk about whiskey.
Whiskey.
Because what's a deep dive into word origins without a little bit of liquid courage?
Right, and whiskey takes us on a journey from the rolling hills of Ireland,
Oh, I love Ireland.
where it all began with Isbitha.
Isbitha, that sounds beautiful.
It's Gaelic for water of life.
Water of life, that's so poetic.
It speaks to the reverence they had for this potent drink.
Was it some magical spring they were distilling from?
Well, magical may be in its effects.
Huh.
It was distilled from fermented grains, but it was seen as a medicinal elixir, a source of warmth.
And, yeah, be honest, probably some good cheer.
A bit of craik, as they say in Ireland.
So, from ancient Gaelic rituals to modern-day happy hour, whiskey carries with it centuries of tradition.
Distillation technique stories.
Maybe a few hangovers along the way.
Perhaps a few.
Okay, enough history for now. Let's fast forward to the digital age.
All right.
Because we're constantly using the word wiki. But I bet most people haven't stopped to think where it comes from.
That's true. It's become so ubiquitous.
So where did this essential part of the internet come from?
Well, surprisingly not from Silicon Valley.
Not from Silicon Valley.
To find its origins, we need to picture ourselves in sunny Honolulu,
Okay, I like where this is going.
hopping on one of their wiki shuttle buses.
Wiki that has a nice ring to it, where these buses known for their speed or something.
Kikera wiki in Hawaii means quick.
So quick!
Exactly. And these airport shuttles were all about getting you from point A to point B in a jiffy.
Makes sense. And what does this have to do with the internet?
Well, Ward Cunningham, a computer programmer, was looking for a name for his collaborative website platform.
Okay.
And those wiki buses sparked an idea.
Wow. So this little Hawaiian word for quick ended up shaping how we create and share information online.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. It's amazing how an everyday observation can lead to a technological revolution.
Absolutely. And it highlights how language can be so adaptable, finding new life and meaning in unexpected places.
Ancient drinks to modern tech, these words are proving to be more than just labels.
They're little capsules packed with history and culture and human ingenuity.
Okay, are you ready for another word origin adventure?
Always bring it on.
But be warned, this one involves facing down a mythical monster and weathering some serious storms.
Ooh, Sounds intense.
We're deep diving into the origins of
Okay.
typhoon. Buckle up.
It's going to be a wild ride. That's right, Typhoon. And this word has a journey that's as wild as the storms it describes.
So where does this wild journey begin?
Well, it starts with a figure straight out of Greek mythology.
Okay, I'm listening.
Typhon, the monstrous storm giant who dared to challenge the mighty Zeus.
Wow. Talk about an intense origin story. So how did this mythical giant's name end up attached to a real-world weather phenomenon?
Well, imagine ancient sailors battling ferocious storms in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
They might have invoked Typhon, the bringer of storms, as an explanation for the chaos they were experiencing.
It's like the ultimate blame it on the gods situation.
Right, exactly. But typhoon doesn't sound very Greek, does it?
Now that you mention it, no, it doesn't.
And that's where things get even more interesting as trade routes expanded eastward. The Greek typhon seems to have collided with other storm-related words.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, the Chinese had dafeng, meaning great wind,
Okay.
and the Arabs used ufen for a violent storm.
So it's like this linguistic storm brewing with Greek myth, Chinese observation, and Arabic description all swirling together.
Precisely, it's a testament to how language evolves through contact and exchange.
Reflecting shared experiences, even when those experiences are as terrifying as a typhoon.
Exactly. Those shared experiences really shape how language develops.
Okay, from epic storms to something a bit more grounded.
All right, let's shift gears.
Let's talk about budget.
Budget.
I'm guessing its origins aren't quite as mythical.
Not a mythical creature in sight, but we do travel back to medieval times.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Picture a royal treasurer carefully counting out coins and tucking them away
Yeah.
in a small leather pouch known as a bougette in Old French.
Bougette, it sounds kind of cute for something so important.
Right, these bougettes weren't just any old pouches.
No.
They held the kingdom's fate, wars, feasts, maybe a new castle or two?
It's amazing how much power a little pouch could hold.
Absolutely. And over time, the word itself evolved from referring to the physical pouch.
To the abstract concept of financial planning the budget,
Exactly. It's fascinating how a simple object can become a symbol.
and how that symbol then morphs into an entire system of managing money.
It really shows how language reflects the evolution of human thought and practices.
Okay, speaking of systems, but this time for getting around. Have you ever considered where the word coach comes from?
Coach, now there's a word with a journey.
I know it can mean a sports mentor or a comfy bus,
Right. Those are the common meanings today.
but I have a feeling you're about to take us somewhere far more unexpected.
You'd be right. Our journey takes us to a small village in Hungary called Cox.
Cox, never heard of it.
Well, back in the 15th century, Cox was known for producing a specific type of horse-drawn carriage.
Oh, like a carriage.
Exactly. Renowned for its speed and comfort.
So the Rolls-Royce of carriages back in the day.
You could say that, and their reputation spread throughout Europe.
So these Coxy carriages, did they become like the go-to for everyone, royalty dignitaries?
They did. The name itself, Coxy, evolved into coach in English.
Wow, so from a tiny Hungarian village to the world stage, the word coach took off.
It did, and not just for transportation.
Right, we use it to describe mentors, those who guide and train others, just like a coachman guides a carriage.
It's a wonderful example of how a word can embody both a physical object and a metaphorical concept.
Bridging the gap between the literal and the figurative.
Exactly, and that's what makes etymology so fascinating.
Okay, from Hungarian villages to, let me guess, rainforests.
You got it. We're not just talking about any rainforest,
No.
but the lush, dense jungles of Southeast Asia, home to a creature whose name perfectly captures its essence.
I think I know where we're going with it, the orangutan.
Exactly, orangutan.
It does have a certain mystique to it. I'm guessing it's not a word that came from a European explorer's dictionary.
Not at all. It comes from the Malay language, and it literally means forest person.
Forest person, wow.
Imagine those early explorers pushing through the dense foliage, coming face to face with these intelligent primates.
With their human-like features.
Exactly. It must have been both awe-inspiring and a bit unnerving.
Like they were encountering a different kind of humanity hidden within the forest.
And the Malay term orangutan beautifully reflects that sense of wonder and respect.
It wasn't just a label.
Right. It was a recognition of their unique place within the ecosystem.
It makes you realize how important it is to preserve not just these amazing creatures, but also the languages that hold their stories.
Absolutely. Language is so intertwined with culture and the natural world.
Okay, from the depths of the rainforest to, let me guess, A bustling marketplace.
Not quite a marketplace this time, but a cultural crossroads. We're diving into the world of Yiddish
Okay, hit it.
with a word that embodies a certain audacious spirit.
Ooh, I think I know what it is. Chutzpah.
You got a chutzpah.
It's one of those words that just zings with attitude.
It does, and it originated from the Hebrew word for insolence.
Insolent. So it had a bit of a negative connotation originally.
Well, in Yiddish, chutzpah took on a more nuanced meaning.
Okay, how so?
It's not just about being bold or brazen. It's about having that unflinching self-confidence, that audacity that can be both admirable and infuriating.
It's like a linguistic embodiment of that I'll ask for forgiveness later
Yep.
mentality.
Precisely. And it's fascinating how this Yiddish word carried by Jewish communities migrating across Europe
Yeah.
found its way into English and other languages.
Adding a unique cultural flavor.
Exactly. It's a reminder of the rich tapestry of influences that make up the English language.
From the rainforest to the heart of human audacity, these words are proving to be quite the travelers.
They are constantly evolving and adapting as they journey across cultures and through time.
Okay, ready for another linguistic expedition? I'm feeling adventurous.
Then hold on tight, because we're about to embark on a culinary journey with a surprising twist. We're delving into the world of flavors.
Okay, my taste buds are ready.
With a word that might make them tingle: ketchup.
Ketchup. Now that's a word I thought I knew.
I bet you do. It's so familiar.
I mean, it's as American as apple pie, right?
Or maybe not. You might be surprised to learn that ketchup actually has a far more exotic origin story.
Oh, really? Okay, lay it on me.
To uncover its roots, we need to travel back in time and set sail for Southeast Asia,
Southeast Asia. Okay.
where British sailors encountered a fermented fish sauce
Fermented fish sauce.
called katsiap in Hokkien Chinese.
Katsiap. So that's the ancestor of our beloved ketchup.
You could say that those British sailors were intrigued by the word katsiap
Intrigued enough to try it.
and brought it back to England. Over time, the sauce itself evolved,
Okay. Losing the fish, hopefully.
eventually incorporating different ingredients and flavors, leading to the tomato-based ketchup we enjoy today.
So from a pungent fish sauce to a global condiment, ketchup has undergone quite the makeover.
It's a delicious reminder of how food trade and language intertwine to create something entirely new and unexpected.
Okay, from the savory to the forbidden. Is that where we're headed next?
You're on the right track. We're about to explore a word that embodies cultural boundaries and societal norms.
I'm sensing a bit of mystery here. What word are we talking about?
Taboo.
Taboo. Now, that's a word with some weight to it.
It does, and to understand its origins, we need to set sail with Captain Cook on his voyages to the Pacific.
Captain Cook the explorer. So did he stumble upon some hidden island ritual or a secret society that gave rise to the word taboo?
Not quite a secret society, but a deeply ingrained concept in Polynesian culture.
Okay.
Cook encountered the word tapu in Tahitian and Hawaiian,
Tapu.
which referred to something sacred, forbidden, or restricted.
It does have a certain weight to it, like a warning or a boundary you don't want to cross.
Exactly. And Cook documented the word and the concept, introducing taboo into the English language.
So did taboo keep its original meaning, or did it change when it came to English?
Well, the core idea of forbidden practices or subjects remained, but the word in English took on broader connotations,
Like what?
encompassing social and cultural prohibitions, things that are considered inappropriate or off limits.
It's fascinating how a concept so deeply rooted in Polynesian culture became a part of global vocabulary.
It shows how exploration can broaden our understanding of the world and its diverse cultural practices.
Okay, from the islands of the Pacific to wait, are those snowy mountains I see in the distance.
You're seeing clearly our next word takes us to the slopes of Norway,
Norway, I love Norway.
where a specific activity and the word for it glided seamlessly into the English language.
I think I know what you're talking about, skiing.
Ski exact.
Ski is one of those words that sounds exactly the same in both languages.
It is a rare case where the activity, the object, and the word itself remained almost unchanged.
So no linguistic wrestling this time.
Not this time, it was a direct transfer.
It's like the word itself effortlessly slid into our vocabulary, just like steeds glide down a snowy slope.
The perfect analogy, and it's a linguistic testament to the universality of certain human experiences.
We've covered so much ground already, from mythical monsters to forbidden practices, from Hungarian carriages to Polynesian concepts.
It's been quite the etymological journey,
It's amazing how much history is packed into these seemingly ordinary words.
and we've still got more linguistic treasures to uncover.
You're kidding. We've already covered so much.
Remember those tantalizing mentions of chocolate in a muck?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when we get back to those.
We'll unravel their fascinating stories in part 3 of our deep dive.
Can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our etymological adventure today.
With two words that might seem worlds apart.
But, as we'll see,
They actually connect some very different cultures and time periods.
I'm intrigued. Are you ready to uncover the stories behind chocolate and amok?
Absolutely. Let's start with chocolate.
Okay, chocolate. I have a feeling this one will be deliciously intriguing.
Get ready for a journey that's both sweet and bitter.
Okay, I'm ready.
Chocolate comes from the Nahuatl word chocolatl,
Nahuatl.
the language of the Aztecs.
Oh, wow, so we're going way back.
We are, but forget the creamy bars and sugary treats we know today.
So not a Hershey's bar.
Not quite for the Aztecs. Chocolatl was a sacred drink, a brew made from cacao beans, often spiced with chili peppers and other flavorings.
Wait, spicy chocolate. That's a combo I'd love to try.
It's a unique flavor profile, to say the least.
Though I'm guessing it wasn't your typical after-dinner dessert.
No, it wasn't. It played a central role in their rituals and ceremonies.
So what was the cultural significance of chocolatl for the Aztecs?
It was associated with power, spirituality, even a connection to the divine.
So how did this sacred Aztec beverage become the global phenomenon we know and love today?
Well, the Spanish conquistadors were certainly intrigued by the unique flavor of chocolatl,
Even if it was spicy.
even with the spice, but the initial European versions were still quite bitter compared to modern chocolate.
So how did it become the sweet treat we know today?
Over time, as chocolate spread across Europe, it underwent a series of transformations. Sugar was added, milk was incorporated, and new techniques for processing cacao beans were developed,
It's like chocolate embarked on its own epic journey.
adapting and evolving with each cultural encounter.
From a sacred Aztec drink to a global sweet treat.
It's a testament to how food language and cultural exchange can create something entirely new.
Okay, from chocolate to a word that's a bit more well-intense. Amok, exactly. You've likely heard the phrase run amok,
Right, it's a common expression.
but its origins might surprise you.
They might. To understand amok, we need to venture into the Malay world,
Okay, the Malay world.
where it describes a specific type of frenzy, a sudden outburst of violent, uncontrolled behavior.
So, not just any old frenzy, but a very particular kind of cultural phenomenon.
Exactly what triggered these amok episodes in Malay culture is debated,
Oh, really?
but it was often associated with individuals who felt they had suffered a grave injustice or insult.
So it was like a culturally accepted, albeit extreme way to lash out against perceived wrongs.
You could say that it was seen as a way to restore honor or exact revenge.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So how did amok travel from the Malay world to become part of the English language?
As European explorers and traders interacted with Malay communities, they witnessed these amok episodes firsthand.
And I'm guessing they were pretty shocked by what they saw.
They were, and they documented these events in their accounts. The word itself, amok, with its powerful imagery of uncontrolled rage, caught on in European languages.
Eventually becoming the English phrase run amok.
Exactly. It's fascinating how a word can encapsulate such a complex social and psychological phenomenon.
And how it can travel across cultures, carrying with it the weight of those experiences.
Sometimes unsettling, sometimes enlightening, but always revealing something about the human condition.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the surprising origins of the words we use every day.
From ancient Aztec rituals to Malay frenzies, from Portuguese bread to Polynesian taboos.
It's been quite an adventure.
It has. It's amazing how much history, culture, and human experience are packed into these seemingly ordinary words.
It makes you realize that language is so much more than just a way to communicate.
It's a living record of our shared human story.
And the most exciting part is that this is just the beginning. Every word has a story waiting to be uncovered, a journey waiting to be explored.
So next time you encounter a word that piques your curiosity, don't just take it at face value.
Dig a little deeper, explore its etymology.
And you might be surprised by the fascinating tale it has to tell.
Thanks for joining us on this linguistic adventure. We hope you've enjoyed uncovering the surprising origins of everyday words.
Until next time, keep exploring the world of language and all its hidden wonders.